Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video this morning there is lots to negotiate about, so who should replace Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer at Manchester United at the end of the season, because like I did mention on my video that I did yesterday night, I'm very convinced that Manchester United will get rid of Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer at the end of the season, and I do believe the vast majority of Manchester United fans, including me, believe he will be gone. I think, quite a lot of journalists believe he will be gone. Quite a few of the players believe that he's on his way out of the football club, and so too do people within the football club and that. Yeah, so I think, he will be gone at the end of the season. Even if Manchester United were to secure Champions League football, I still believe he could be gone. So, who do you think, would be the right manager to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United now? There's been a couple of managers on our agenda, and that, has been Massmilanio, Allegri, and also to Mauricio Pochettino. So I do believe, from my own perception, that, it'd be one of them that replaces Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. Now, of course, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to be sacked by the football club, he will be the fourth permanent manager to be sacked since the Alex Ferguson era, because we've already sacked three managers, even though Manchester United are not really known for a sacking football club. So the latest news now regarding Massimiliano Allegri, reportedly he wants to be in work by September of obviously of this year. Massimiliano Allegri has been managerless since the end of last season, when he did, resign as Juventus manager. Massimiliano Allegri enjoyed a 5-year tenure with Juventus, won 5 Serie A's, won 4 Coppa Italians, and, progressed Juventus to 2 Champions League finals, but did lose both of them. So he has got a proven pedigree as Massimiliano Allegri. Obviously, hasn't managed in the Premier League as yet in his managerial career. Up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his managerial career in Italy. And of course, the next job he does get, it will be his 8th club in his managerial career. I think he has been learning English in preparation for his potential move. There's been a lot of speculation saying that, Massimiliano Allegri is interested in taking the Man United job. Also, he's been linked with quite a few other managerial roles. There's been talks about him possibly going back to AC Milan. Also, there's been talks about him possibly going back to Juventus, and also to PSG have been interested in Massimiliano Allegri. So I think now he's actually emerged as the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. There was a lot of talks about Massimiliano Allegri coming to Manchester United earlier on in the season, but then obviously, the rumours had died down a little bit. So he could be more likely now than Mauricio Pochettino, because obviously, Manchester City have been banned from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. And now that means, Pep Guardiola could leave Manchester City this summer. So that means then City, could recommend Mauricio Pochettino in. So obviously, 5th place now anywhere is a Champions League spot, and that's a lot. That's very, very good news for for a lot of the teams outside of the top four. Very, very good news. But obviously, before this ban occurred, taken to the equation, it was looking very, very likely that Mauricio Pochettino was going to be Manchester United's next manager, because obviously, Mauricio Pochettino has held negotiations with the football club. I think, Pochettino did indicate out that he does want to remain in the Premier League, but he said, reflecting on his sacking from Tottenham last year, that he wanted an immediate return to management. Now, I'd like even Pochettino at Manchester United. Let's say, I just think, Allegri or Pochettino are better managers than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Pochettino is well proven in the Premier League. He enjoyed a good 5.5 year tenure with Tottenham, progressed them to their first ever Champions League final last season. Also got them second place in one season, got them to a couple of quite a few 4th place finishes, so he did really, really well. My only element of concern I've got about Mauricio Pochettino is that he hasn't won out in terms of silverware. Pochettino will get another job, definitely. Of course, I don't see him getting another job though before the end of the season. If he was to get another job before the end of the season, like I mentioned, Tottenham would be entitled to £10 million in compensation. Mauricio Pochettino, I just do believe his philosophy would be right for Manchester United. His philosophy would be right for the club. He's good at developing young players. And I think the mistake Manchester United did make was not recommending Pochettino in after the sacking of Jose Mourinho in December 2018. That's when we should have recommended Mauricio Pochettino in. But the main explanations why our preference was Solskjaer, because obviously Solskjaer was a cheaper solution. The way we saw it, that Solskjaer knows the club inside out, unlike Mauricio Pochettino. And the reason we give Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis is reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager. But I think, we give him the job too soon. Pochettino, has managed 3 clubs so far, like I mentioned, enjoyed a 5.5 year tenure with Tottenham. Before he was at Tottenham, he was at Southampton, also enjoyed a good short tenure with Southampton, guided Southampton to their highest ever finish, and also before that he was at Espanyol. So he's been managing now for just over a decade, because he began his managerial career in 2009. I think he enjoyed 18 years of his playing career, did Mauricio Pochettino. But yeah, a very, very good manager, definitely. So they're the 2 managers on our agenda, who could replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. But Pochettino's been linked to quite a few managerial roles. Don't forget, earlier on in the season, he was linked with Barcelona, because Barcelona had sacked Ernesto Valverde. Real Madrid have also been long admirers of him. Bayern Munich have been in from Mauricio Pochettino earlier on in the season. But I think, he wants to, stay in the Premier League, definitely in that. So yeah, Manchester United do need a change of management. But like I've said to you, on my recent videos, reflect on the amount of mistakes Manchester United have made in the last 6 or 7 years. This is why we've been so inconsistent. It's not only the explanation, but it's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. I can pinpoint quite a few mistakes Manchester United have made in the last 6 or 7 years. I think there's some players that we've brought in over the years that we shouldn't have got rid of. Prime example, we shouldn't have got rid of Herrera last summer. We shouldn't have got rid of Romelu Lukaku. Looking at it from a financial point of view, I was happy what we generated from his departure, but we still shouldn't have let Lukaku go. We made a mistake by giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis. That's another mistake Manchester United made. We made a mistake last summer by not recommending a director of footballing, because they did say, didn't I, that's one of the structural changes that we need at the football club, is getting a director of footballing. If we'd got that director of footballing, then Ed Woodward could have moved away from the footballing decisions. I think, we made a mistake by, not recommending Jose Mourinho in after Alex Ferguson's retirement back in 2013. Ferguson did make the mistake, but only the mistake he made was ever recommending David Moyes in. So Manchester United have made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years. We've also spent a lot of money at the club. Around £1 billion has been spent at Manchester United. Obviously, and this was disregarding what we spent under Ferguson. Under Moyes, we spent around 67 million on Juan Mata and Marion Fellaini. Under Louis van Gaal, we spent 250 odd million. He brought players like Depay in, didn't really settle in, so he left. Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, Falcao, Di Maria. Maybe we made a mistake getting rid of Di Maria. Daily Blind, and he brought quite a lot of players in, but also let a lot of players leave, and there's still some players here now from the Louis van Gaal era. Under Jose Mourinho, we spent around £400 million on 11 players. I think Jose Mourinho spent the most money at the football club, and the vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's, and take into account Solskjaer is still inheriting the vast majority of them. And since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in, he's recommended, 5 players in and spent around £220 million. And also, not only that, we've got the highest wage bill in the Premier League. We're known for overpaying for players, because we have overpaid for players, especially in recent years. 80 million for Maguire, 50 million for Fred, £40 million for Matic. So we are known for overpaying for players, definitely. But always spending big on players and getting them Glasgow players, like I've mentioned in the past, doesn't always guarantee you success. Because if you're not playing as a team and you're not playing as a unit, then of course it isn't going to work out. It's not going to work out and that. But for me, Solskjaer is not the long-term solution for Manchester United, and that. Obviously, my perceptions were totally comparison when he was the interim manager, because he did really, really well in that 3-month period. But the main explanations why I don't think Solskjaer is the right manager for Man United, he's too inexperienced as a manager. I know that he knows the club well and he was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years, but I think as a manager he's just totally comparison. His record at Manchester United has been disastrous since he got the job permanently. Also, his record was disastrous at Cardiff. He only enjoyed a short tenure with Cardiff. But, I just don't see us getting our 21st title under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I just do not, see it happening. Won't get our 21st title under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I said, he's got around 2.5 years left on his current deal at the football club, but I'm very sceptical, he will see out the remainder of his 2.5 year deal. It come out the other week saying that, we'll only sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on one condition, and that's if Manchester United fail to secure European football, or, if we finish outside of the top six. I think there's around a 25% chance that Solskjaer will be given another season at Manchester United. And of course, this is his first full season now at the football club. And I feel as though he's had long enough. He's been here over the year. Solskjaer did reveal though at the beginning of the year that obviously it is a transition period and we're hopeful we can get through this transition period. And he's got many expectations to exceed. But I just feel as though, from my own perception, the expectations are too high for him at Manchester United. And, Solskjaer believes if he's given the time that he's demanding, he can emulate into next year and Klopp. Because taking into account it took Jurgen Klopp a long time to get him to, to emulate to a level that he's at now. Also, so he believes, Solskjaer, that he does need more time at the club. Won't invoke Ferguson's legacy. Ferguson was unbelievable. He enjoyed a 26-27 year tenure at the club. But taking into account Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. So I think, we need to recommend a manager in with a proven pedigree, a manager in at the top level. Not always the right solution though, on the other hand. We obviously had Van Gaal, who was a pretty decent manager at the time. We had Jose Mourinho. But, obviously, their tenures didn't work out at Manchester United and that. But, like I've said to you, there's not only problems with the management at the football club, there's not only problems with the management, there's various issues at the club that need to be addressed. There's a lot of problems with the club's ownership. The Glazers have been here since 2005, and, the Glazers have been generating a lot of money out of this club since 2005. So they've been, owning the club 15 years. Obviously, there's problems with the executive chairman, Ed Woodward. He also needs to go. And also, too, I've got a lot of element of concerns about the board. There's also still, players that need to leave Manchester United. I think we need to get rid of around 4 or 5 players at least this summer. So some of the players that do leave this summer will generate some money for their departures. And obviously, a lot of players anywhere have left, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. I think around 9 senior players have left the football club. So reflecting on it, some of the players that left last summer and that, we have generated some money from their departures. I think the players that need to leave Man United in the summer, I've already gone through with you. I think Jones, Matic, Lingard, Pereira, Chon, Gomez, Shaw. I think all of them players do need to be moved on in the summer. Obviously, Solskjaer did say he's uncertain over the futures of Chon and Gomez. I think their current contracts are due to expire at the end of the season. But Chon's appearances are limited at the club, and so too are Angel Gomez. So it is a bit pointless, being at Manchester United, definitely. But all them players I've just said to you are liabilities at the football club. So definitely more players need to leave Manchester United. More players need to leave Manchester United, but we need to secure European football this season for next season. Score it this season to get it for next season. Because if we can, we'll attract players to the elite level, where we've got a better chance of attracting players to the elite level. Because when you're not in European football, you're going to find it hard to get, the right calibre players. Solskjaer still believes that Man United can get the right calibre players in, even if we don't secure any European football. I did say, didn't I, at the start of this season, I expected us to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season, because last season was a huge disappointment. We finished 6th, and obviously, we didn't win any silverware. And also take into account, silverware is also now very imperative at Man United. We have lacked silverware in the last 6 or 7 years. We've only won 3 major honours since Ferguson's retirement. We didn't win out under the David Moyes era. We won the FA Cup under the Louis van Gaal era, and we won the Europa League and the League Cup under the Jose Mourinho era. And of course, that came in Jose Mourinho's first season at the football club. But, I still think Manchester United, from my own perception, are around 4 or 5 signings away, from being competitive and for being future title contenders. We're still around 4 or 5 signings away. Manchester United are making plans for the summer transfer window, and there's quite a lot of players on our agenda. And obviously, Ed Woodward came out the other week. He wrote a fans forum, don't forget, and he did say he's determined to back Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer this summer, with more transfers. There's quite a few players on our agenda. Solskjaer did reveal that he still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players to Manchester United like he did do last summer. But there is still deficiencies in the squad that need to be addressed. I think Man United need at least a couple of midfielders now. We need a left back. Luke Shaw is too inconsistent now and he's injury prone. Williams is too inexperienced but done well since he's got come into the senior squad. Possibly need a centre half, then we can use Lindelof as a backup. We definitely need a right winger. So there's still deficiencies in the squad that need to be addressed. I was reading reports the other week and it did say we're going to get around £274 million to spend this summer on bringing more additions to the squad. If Solskjaer is still to be here in the summer transfer window, it will be his 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager, definitely. So, the players in our agenda, that's Jack Grealish. I've been reading recent reports about Jack Grealish and it says, Spurs were close to getting Jack Grealish in the summer of 2018 for just £25 million. But obviously, Tottenham's move didn't materialise. Tottenham didn't get the player on the board, basically, so it didn't materialise. Jack Grealish, I think he revealed a couple of weeks ago now that his preference is a move to Manchester United, and I think he would be the right calibre player for the club. He's enjoyed a good career with Aston Villa so far. Up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa as Jack Grealish. But I would actually like him at Manchester United. Very, very good player. Only the age of 24. He's predominantly an attacking mid. Occasionally, plays on the wing. I think if Villa are to avoid relegation this season, it did say that Grealish could cost us up to £80 million. So that's a lot of money, for, Jack Grealish. But I think he's still under contract with Aston Villa until 2023. There's been quite a few clubs in for him, Madrid, Barca, Man City. A few people have advised him to reject Man United and go to Liverpool instead. But yeah, I'd love Jack Grealish at Manchester United. And, we'd see him as the adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. James Maddison, if we were to get James Maddison and Jack Grealish, they'd cost us around £160 million for the pair of them. I think James Maddison, again, would be the right calibre player for Man United. He's well proven in the Premier League, just like Jack Grealish. James Maddison now is into his 2nd season with Leicester. In his 2nd season, though, with Leicester, he's replicating what he did in his debut season. James Maddison alone, without Jack Grealish as part of the deal, James Maddison had cost a good £60 or £70 million to convince Leicester to offload him. Leicester only paid £20 million in from Norwich in the summer of 2018. Maddison's still got around 3 years left on his current contract with Leicester, I think. But yeah, very, very good player. Man United have been long admirers of him. Can play as an attacking mid, also can play as a winner. I think Brendan Rodgers tends to play, James Maddison on the left quite a few times. Maddison is only at the age of 23. But, they would dramatically improve Man United. Same perception on Jadon Sancho. He'd dramatically improve us. There's been quite a few clubs that have been in for Jadon Sancho. Man United may need Champions League qualification to get Jadon Sancho on the board. So just say we get them 3 players in the summer, they're going to cost us over £200 million because I think Borussia Dortmund have quoted out they want at least £100 million for Jadon Sancho and that. But we've got to get the right players to Manchester United in the summer that, can elevate us forward and that. Yes, we've got to, currently do this. So it is good, that we are making plans for the summer transfer window. It is, very, very good indeed. Now, obviously, I've been keeping up to date, haven't I, with the news regarding Paul Pogba. Obviously, I updated you yesterday night, didn't I? That, Paul Pogba has now arrived at the He's returned to the training ground. He's arrived back after, his trip at Dubai, after his Dubai trip. He has now arrived at the training ground as Paul Pogba. Obviously, we do know that Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has been talking, a lot. I don't know if he's had any conversations with his client or he's had any conversations with Solsjkaer, but obviously Manchester United have been very infuriated, with the comments that, Mini Raiola has come out and said regarding Solskjaer, Man United and that, and even the player. Raiola is very convinced that Pogba will leave in the summer, especially if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League. And he said he didn't join the club to not win titles and, of course, not challenge. This is what his agent, Mini Raiola, said. And he was coming out with comments saying that, Paul Pogba is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's property. He was saying, something to do with a prisoner and all this. So I'm not happy, with the comments that, Mini Raiola has come out and said. He did say he wanted to hold some kind of negotiations with Solskjaer, the other day. I don't think he's got any disputes with Solskjaer, according to him. But I do believe Paul Pogba's on his way out of the football club in the summer. He's already told our teammates that he's leaving Manchester United this summer. And I think he'll either go to Real Madrid or he will go to Juventus. I'm just hopeful that Paul Pogba can play again for Manchester United before, he leaves in the summer. Solskjaer did quote out that Paul Pogba may never play for the football club again, because he did say, Solskjaer, that he's not close to returning from injury. Paul Pogba has been out since Boxing Day. That's the last game he played, Boxing Day, just like McTominay. And he hasn't started a game for Man United since September as Paul Pogba. So his appearances have been limited due to that. He's only made around 8 appearances this season. I think it's like just over a month ago now since he had the surgery on his ankle. So Paul Pogba's injury, must be severe. Obviously, from a Real Madrid perspective, they've come out and only valued Paul Pogba at 50 million. I don't know where they've got that figure from, basically, The only like I've just said, the only reason he hasn't played this season hardly is because the injuries he's had. Paul Pogba, he's worth more than 50 million. He's worth miles more than 50 million pounds. From my perception, I think he's worth at least 120 million pounds. Is Pogba, but we've said we want around 150 million pounds for him this summer. So Real Madrid, only valuing 3 times less than what we want for him this summer and that. And 50 million is £39 million less than what we paid for him, because we paid £89 million in from Juventus back in 2016. Pogba's got the same perception now as what he had last summer, because last summer he wanted to leave the football club. Last summer he was, relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. There was also talks about him going back to Turin. We wanted around 170, 180 million for him last summer, and Real Madrid, of course, were not determined to pay that and that. I think now his preference is to move to Juventus. Juventus did say they was willing to offer 125 million, plus they was willing to offer Ramsey and Adrian Rabiot as part of the deal, but I don't see that happening. And so we've said we want around 150 million pounds for him. But Pogba now is heading into the final year of his contract at Man United. Man United do have an option to extend it by a further year, but I'm very sceptical that we'll extend it by a further year. But I think, we're doing the right thing by getting rid of him in the summer. We're doing the right thing because we'll generate a substantial amount for his departure, plus, it will free up our wage bill a little bit, because Pogba is one of the highest paid players at the football club. But if Pogba is to play for Man United again, the earliest we are looking at him being back is for the Manchester derby on the 8th of March and that. But, Pogba in total for the football club has made 150 appearances in all competitions, and he has scored 31 goals. This is since his arrival from Juventus back in 2016. But I think one of the mistakes Man United did make was getting rid of Paul Pogba when he was younger, when we had him under Alex Ferguson and that. So, of course, Manchester United have still got quite a few injuries. Of course, Rashford could be out for the rest of the season, like Solskjaer easily revealed. He did say Rashford is touch and go to play again before the end of the season. But he's quoted out as Solskjaer that Rashford is going to be out for at least the next couple of months. and he could even miss the European Championships this season. But that's a lot of negative. That's negative. A lot of negativity coming out about Rashford because he has been one of our best players this season. But to be fair, Odion Ighalo is a good cover up for him. We've got a lot of positivity coming out regarding McTominay because it has confirmed that McTominay, could be, part of the squad for the game against Watford tomorrow, which is very, very good news. McTominay has recently been back in training. McTominay has been out with a knee injury since Boxing Day. But I thought before McTominay got injured, he did really, really well. He was a revelation in our midfield. Tuanzebe, I think he's also returned back to training, so he's also stepping up his fitness regime. I think Phil Jones has recently got injured. Diego Dalot has just come back from injury not too long ago and that. So analysing it, Manchester United have had a lot of injuries this season, but that's not excusable, for how inconsistent, we have been. So Solsjkaer, was basically saying that rotation is very important and Man United will be rotating, because we have got a busy period. We've got around 7 games. Is it 6 or 7 games in 21 days? So, Solskjaer will be, rotating the squad, definitely. You saw my preview for the Man United-Watford game yesterday. It's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches this game against Watford tomorrow. He will make quite a lot of changes from the 1-1 draw against Club Brugge on Thursday. He will make quite a lot of changes. I expect to see Wan-Bissaka come back into the team because he was rested against Brugge. Daniel James will probably play, even though Daniel Solskjaer's being urged to, drop Daniel James because, he has been playing him too much. I think James has played around 31 games in all competitions this season for Manchester United. And, I expect Bruno Fernandes to start. I also expect Odion Ighalo to make his full debut for the club. Don't forget he is reuniting with Watford because Odion Ighalo did endure around three years with Watford or something like that. Yes, he did endure 3 years with Watford. He was very, very good for them. Played quite a few times against Man United as a Watford player. During his time with Watford, he scored 39 goals in 99 games in all competitions. I think he scored around 16 Premier League goals in 55 Premier League appearances. But I think he'll do well for Man United. Like I mentioned, good cover up for Rashford. If he is to hit the ground running, Odion Ighalo, then we are considering, making his transfer permanent. So I expect, Odion Ighalo to start. Yes, I do. And so he will definitely, make changes, from the 1-1 draw against Club Brugge. He did get quite a lot of things wrong against Club Brugge, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like I said, he didn't start Odion Ighalo like he said he was likely he was gonna. Bruno Fernandes didn't start. There was no Wan-Bissaka and that. And he was playing players out of position, Again, played Luke Shaw at centre-half. Luke Shaw is not predominantly a centre-half, he's predominantly a left-back. He put Martial in the number 9 role. To be fair to Martial, he has scored in his last two games for Man United. But I said, we need to stop playing him in that number 9. We need to put Odion Ighalo in that number 9, and we need to revert Anthony Martial back to the left-hand side because that's Anthony Martial's predominant position. Martial now is into his 5th season at the club, but analysing it in his 4 previous seasons, he's been playing on that left-hand side as Martial. I understand why we're giving the number 9 is because, he did well in pre-season, that number 9 role, but he has been in a bad vein of form. But recently, he has rejuvenated himself, to be fair, and scored in his last 2 games. I think he's on 14 goals now this season for Manchester United. He also, against Brugge, started Andres Pereira. He also started Lingard. This is something else Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got wrong. And, of course, he went with 3 at the back against Club Brugge. I think 3 at the back seems to suit our standards because in the games we have gone with it this season, we've seen to have done well, but we seldom go with 3 at the back anywhere. Maybe it can be a good option, when we come up against elite opposition because we've done really, really well against elite opposition this season. But I do believe in the Watford game, Solskjaer will probably revert back to the 4-2-3-1 because he's been going with that formation on a regular basis this season. But, yes, he has done. And, like I said, I think in the second leg against Club Brugge at Old Trafford, it will be, it will be totally comparison. I'm still very convinced that Manchester United will go through because I think in the second leg against Brugge, Solskjaer won't take any risks. He'll play Fernandes, he'll start Fernandes, he'll start Fred, he'll start Odi Nagalo and Bissaka and that, so he won't take any risks. He did bring them on. He brought Fernandes, Bruno on, and Odi Nagalo on in, the Club Brugge game on Thursday, and they did make an impact when they came on. But I think he'll start them in the second leg, because the Europa League is a priority for Man United. It's our only chance of, well, it is a chance of getting silverware on the board this season. Plus, it's another route to Champions League football, and we're capable of winning the Europa League because we won it a couple of years ago under Jose Mourinho's guidance. We beat an Ajax in the final by 2-0. So we are capable of winning it. I think we have emerged as one of the favourites to win the Europa League, definitely in that. Club Brugge are a good European side. Like I said, the record against Premier League opposition is bad. But on the other hand, they're sitting top of the Belgian league, looking realistically, that they are going to win the Belgian league this season. So, they are a pretty decent team in Belgium. But I think Man United will definitely win that second leg. But now we'll concentrate on this game against Watford. This is a must-win game for Manchester United against Watford. We're looking for back-to-back Premier League wins. Won our last Premier League game against Chelsea by 2-0. It was goals from Anthony Martial and Harry Maguire. That was Harry Maguire's first Premier League goal for Manchester United. So it was a very, very good win, and that was our first win at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League since 2012. So that's like 8 years ago now. And, we seldom win at Stamford Bridge. So hopefully now we can build some momentum and we can go on a good winning run. Now, I did say, didn't I, Watford have slightly improved, under Nigel Pearson's guidance. They haven't really improved all that much. They've only won one of their last 5 Premier League games. Watford are sitting 19th in the Premier League, so they are facing a relegation battle. They found goals hard to come by this season. They've only scored 24 goals in 26 Premier League games this season, and they've registered 24 points from 26 Premier League games. So realistically, Watford could go down this season. Our record against Watford at Old Trafford is very, very good. We have won all our 6 Premier League games at Old Trafford against Watford. Watford, on the other hand, they have got quite a few good attacking players in their team. They've got Troy Deeney, De La Feu, Decore. Obviously, they've got Welbeck. Tom Cleverley as well. He's a former Manchester United player. Watford did beat us earlier on this season at Vicarage Road by 2-0. I think they've beaten us twice now at Vicarage Road of Watford. In the Premier League era and that. But I am confident, Manchester United will win this. I'm not going to take anything for granted, like I said, because we haven't done so well against lower opposition this season. But, we will see what happens. But it is a must-win game for Manchester United. I still wanted to get that top 4, even though 5th place is a Champions League spot. And we are now only 3 points behind top 4 and that. So take that into account and that. But I think next season our expectations at least will be to finish in that top 4. If we can get the right players in the summer,